Truth circle, not truth with the talk, truth circle, no lies for this blood.
Hello, good day to you, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Truth Circles, where the truth is the only thing worth saying. So it's June, so it's still World Men's Mental Health Month, and the mental health of our Nigerian men is something we often don't talk about, because in this part of the world, what we do basically is, you're a man, be strong, be agile, stuff like that. Are you not a man? Why are you crying? It's not the end of the world now, be strong. And that's what we keep hearing. That's what we keep telling our men. But when is softness in men allowed? When is it okay for a man to cry, for a man to be well, for a man to actually be able to express himself, especially in moments when the man is down? So I saw a clip online a couple of days ago, and I actually saw a man who was would I use the word loitering in the airport for a couple of days, 3 days to be exact. And for those 3 days, he kept on beckoning on people to help him with a $500 ticket. So this didn't happen in Nigeria. It happened in the US, actually. And this guy needed a ticket from where he was, the state he was in the US, to Maine, Portland, and the ticket was $500. And for 3 days, he kept on asking people for help, but nobody came to his rescue. And on the third day, one of the airport workers came to him and asked him, "Sir, you've been reported for loitering, and my boss has actually told me to come tell you that you need to leave. You need to stop hanging around. People have reported you." And he was like, "Are you serious? Stop playing. Stop." And he was like, "Yeah, totally. You've been reported for loitering, and so you have to go. In fact, I've been asked to write you a $500 ticket." And he was like, "Get out of town." I said, No, I'm serious. I've written you a $500 ticket. Here it is." And he gives him the envelope, and the man opens it, and he finds the ticket that he actually needs to travel to Maine. And so he bursts into tears, hugs the worker, and is like, "You don't know what you've done for me." But let's bring the story home, right? So a lot of pleasantries, tears, emotional moments took place. And the guy actually shared his name and the reason why he actually needed that ticket to travel. So he got to play in a pro basketball team, and he was supposed to begin training earlier in the month, but he had issues with his accommodation, or I think his girlfriend's accommodation, and that led to him being stranded and couldn't travel anymore. So that's even something really, really serious. He needed the money for something that would change his life, and then someone gave it to him like, "Okay, it's lunch money." But in our country, Nigeria, does that happen often? Are men celebrated for the risks and, the hard work they put into trying to better their lives? Or are resources diverted to show off to the women, to look good in society, to package, or to actually lend a helping hand? On today's episode of the Truth Circles, we're going to be talking waiting man do man. And I say we because it's not going to be just me. I have two wonderful guests in the studios, one to my left and one to my right. And now the introductions.
I am Dr. Moses Asak. And this topic, I don't even know where to start from.
Well, we'll get into that topic. But let's meet the gentleman on my right now.
Thank you so much, Franny, for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. I'm honored. My name is Divine Nekwanuletedo. I'm a boarding artist right here in Port Harcourt. So, I'm here for us to just meet our minds together and let's learn.
Okay.
Yes.
So to the both of you, let me celebrate you. Happy Men's Mental Health Month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since mental health in Nigeria, especially for men, is not something we talk about a lot. And okay, so let's jump right into it. Why is it that softness in men seems like it's an issue? Like if a man were to show emotion or if he were to show vulnerability, he's looked down upon like he's less than or something. Why is that a norm? Because I think at this point, I can actually, take a limb here and say it is seen as a norm for a man to be strong all the time. Even when the chiefs are down, he's told, you have to be strong, you're a man. Why is softness in men a thing unheard of in Nigeria?
Thank you. Truth is, these narrative, what you see today, it has fundamental roots in our culture.
Okay.
That's one of the basic things. In Nigeria, just like most African countries, you will find that culture dictates that man is the one that should stand in the family, labor. So you are conceptualized as hardworking, and so you cannot show your emotions even when you have a situation that you are breaking. It is not allowed. The culture generally does not allow you to show that you are breaking.
Okay.
So your struggles should be silent, because when you show that, then the culture is saying that you are weak. Are you following me?
Yeah.
That's just one of it. Again, the communication, the media has not helped issues. The media has actually unconsciously, if I would say, projected that narrative.
Okay. How so?
Because you find that in the media, even when you watch movies, home movies and all
videos.
of that, what you see is the man projected as, in quote, man of the house.
Alpha male.
Alpha male. And this is a projection of the patriarchy we have in our culture. And that is what plays out up until now.
So the man is never allowed to be vulnerable.
Exactly.
Even in moments that warrant vulnerability.
Exactly.
Wow. So hide, be strong, and even in tears, keep crying.
Exactly.
Okay,
Or cry in
Ogdi.
silence.
Ogdi, you are a budding artist right here in the city of PHC. Talk to me, Abeg. Why is softness in men? Why does it seem like a taboo for a man to be soft?
The word is MAN, right?
Yes, MAN.
So that's one of the reasons why they expect us to be strong.
Who is they? Let's
The
break
society,
it down. Okay.
our Nigerian society. However, if I were to flip the coin, I would say that there is masculinity in softness.
Okay.
Because for you to be able to open up, speaking up takes lots of courage.
I know, right?
Yes, and I see that that's why so many men die these days. If you look at the chart, they because they carry a whole lot, and they cannot open up, they can't speak up, and there's this expectation in quotes.
Yeah.
You have to, just like what doctor said, you have to try to man up. But we should be able to open up and be vulnerable to the complexities of human nature.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a problem, really. It's a problem. So it takes lots of courage to say, man, I need help.
Okay.
So it's just a problem with our Nigerian society.
Okay, so it's a societal cultural
Yes,
problem.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Now that we know what the issue is for men to show softness, let's go to our main question of the day. Waiting man, do man. In our society, it is almost impossible for a man to lend a helping hand to a fellow man. It's easier for a man to help out a woman. Is that established? Do we agree? Oh yeah, why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why is that? Why? Let us talk
You know,
about it.
it's if you read the book the power of a woman by Chikwenzu. In that book, he made the point that a woman by nature has subtle power to control men.
Okay.
So if a man, for example, is exposed to a man and a woman, and both of them need help, by nature of what he visualizes the woman to stand for,
Yeah.
he will want to help that woman first
Before considering the man.
considering the man. Now, but there is a dislocation in that, because that again goes back to our roots. The man is like, you will find situations outside, for example, where a man can meet a fellow man in the street, just like the analogy. No, not an analogy. The story.
Yes,
of the
yes,
man.
yes.
You will find a situation where a fellow man, and as a matter of fact, that is exactly what happened to that gentleman at the airport. Several men passed through him.
For 3 days.
You can imagine that.
3 whole days.
You can imagine that. And yet, nobody extended a hand of brotherhood.
Yeah.
The reason is obvious. In our own society, it will even be worse. Why do I say that? You just might not find anybody that will give him that ticket. Instead, he will be bundled out of that airport.
With security men.
With security men.
True, sir.
Are you getting the point? So it's basically men are seen not to show or express their feelings. And this, we will come to that later. Is it right or wrong to do that? Truth is, just like Divine said,
Yeah.
there is strength actually in
Speaking of.
in expressing yourself. There is nothing wrong in showing your vulnerability.
Vulnerability, yes, sir.
Are you getting me? At a time, I had to sit my son down to tell him that it's okay to cry.
Right?
Because his orientation was becoming that people cannot see me cry. Why? He went to a Navy secondary school.
Okay.
He went to, and the way he has this military orientation. So because of that, he feels a man cannot cry.
Right. Okay.
And the truth is that in our sociocultural environment in Nigeria, people don't recognize men. If you see a man outside begging, the first thing you want to say, what is wrong with you? You have legs, you have hands.
Exactly.
He won't even look at you twice.
Preach, sir. Preach.
So that is it.
Because that is the reality we find in our country.
Yes.
Actually,
This is what we see.
That is true.
Waiting
You know.
man, do man. Seriously. Like, I have to ask it in pidgin.
Actually, yes. And to say it in, it's man's inhumanity to man, actually.
Right?
Because you are seeing somebody that truly and genuinely needs
help.
yes.
You can't give this, you are not even patient to give him a listening ear.
Yes.
You know, so where does this lead us?
Where does this lead us?
Okay. So it leads us to divine, actually. It leads us to divine because let's explore generosity. That question actually prompts another thing in my head. Let's explore generosity versus prestige. Why do some men spend to gain attention rather than, invest in someone who is fighting silently for their future, because that's what a whole lot of men do. So I saw this video a while ago online where a girl came out, and on one of the social media platforms, she was like, how can I be this fine and I'm broke? I don't have money to eat. Somebody send me money. What kind of life is this? And she got 2 point something million.
Imagine.
And I was like, Franny, what are you doing with your life? Are you a door or a window? Like, I have a camera phone now. Maybe it's to beg money online. Now I'm a fine girl and I'm not eating. So, but seriously, why is it that, and 100% of the donors, because she actually brought out receipts, were men. And they sent her over 2 million.
Can you imagine that?
So why is prestige above generosity? Or it seems that way in Nigeria. Why would a man rather spend to gain attention rather than actually invest in someone who needs help?
Well, if you were to ask me that question,
I did ask you.
Yes, I will say inferiority complex is number one thing.
Okay.
We would want to paint a mental picture of I don't arrive,
okay,
to other people. Whereas we're still struggling.
I know, right?
You've not even attained that height, but you want to just paint like I get this thing.
Oga boss. Yeah.
And it's a problem. It's a distorted mentality. It's not meant to be. So when you see, I will now take, for instance, I work there's a particular lounge here in Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
Very, very big one. And I handle karaoke.
Okay.
And you tend to see people who come with their girlfriends, with their wives, and you see someone now who come to the lounge to want to really have fun and maybe express himself, sing. And you see somebody going to, instead of him now maybe coming to, how can I support you? How can I help? You're going to spend money on that girl who you just picked.
Yeah.
And she's even telling me, please, how much is your fish? Give me 500,000. And you'd be like, And someone that came to want to come and sing and come and, pour out his heart, let his gifts find that expression. He's not even being seen.
Okay.
But you're now there trying to prove to that girl that I don't reach. So it's a distorted mentality because you're just you feel inferior. So I feel one of the problems that we have is inferiority complex. You want to show, you want to prove that you are there. It's a problem. So why don't you now work on that mentality and channel help to people who genuinely, in quote, need these things?
Okay.
So that's what I would say, that it's
that's what
one of the factors. Yes.
In generosity versus prestige.
You want to paint a picture. I don't do here. I want to show off.
How about, let me flip it a bit. How about if it's to actually prove that as a man, you can take care of a woman? Because, I'm sorry, in case you haven't heard, welcome to the materialistic era.
Of course.
This is the era where a woman would hope to marry a rich man and she's made. I'm sorry about my sister. Sorry for the stray bullets, but sisterhood. I will be honest. This is truth circle. Honesty, 100%.
Very true.
You are true.
My sisters want to marry a man who is well-to-do, right? And so they will look out for said men with the way they handle cash and with the way they handle the cash when they ask. So 2 things. With the way the man would handle money and with the way the man will handle money towards them, like when they ask for it. So what if, because earlier, Dr. Asak, you said something, you said that it's the way culture and society dictated it to men.
Yeah.
So culture tells man to be the provider, the protector, the sustainer, the one who bears the heavy load, especially financially, and, not get emotional or vulnerable at any point in time. Just continue to do that work, Hishobe vibe till you get to the grave. And the issue now there is, whom are you providing for? the woman, correct? Oftentimes that is the person, at the receiving end. So what if it's not just about generosity, but it's to prove to the women that I get some. So like I am showing off to you, because that's also another problem. Men in our society would rather show off than show up.
Very true.
Why?
Very true.
Why? What
You
if that
captured it
is
so
another
well.
one?
You've captured it so well. The thing is, our society validates men who flaunt riches, wealth, as people that have achieved. This is a misplacement of values. And this is what has come to play over the years. Now, in the first instance, it is not as full-blown as you see it today. Just like you said, we are living in an era of gross materialism.
Yes.
So it's like you don't have wealth to flaunt, you have not, in quote, arrived. So what do the young ones do? The young ones will want to impress. So if I'm going to marry this girl, it doesn't even have to boil to that.
It doesn't even get to marriage.
Like
if this girl wants to, if she should see me,
yes,
let her just see me.
And let
like
the
it's as
society,
shallow as that.
and let the society, her friends,
Yes,
let them see that I can
have what it
deliver.
takes.
Yes, I've got what it takes, to deliver cash and all of that. But you see, this is all a facade, because at the end of the day, you find that, especially I was counseling a lady she did her introduction like on Tuesday. On Tuesday. So she's like my daughter, you understand? So she had this relationship with a guy that is rich. This girl has been practically spoiled with, wealth, given money. But the thing is, a man that has such money to spend, he will do it anywhere, and he will get the attraction he wants.
True.
Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
This girl wanted to consolidate the relationship.
Okay.
But the guy is not ready. So what happens? The guy continues in his narrative, spending money, but he is not ready to settle down. And this girl wants to settle down. But it gets to a point where the girl feels that she can wait. And I told her, what you are doing is sacrificing your life for a man that can wake up tomorrow and tell you that, look, my friend, something else. Something else.
The ship is sailing to another destination.
I just told her, look, why don't... But she tells me it's difficult for me to leave this person. And I told her to pray. Let us pray about it. You need to remove yourself. Because some of these things, well, let me not go there, but some of these things have spiritual undertones.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
True.
So you need to break that association, that cord. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
We prayed 3 days fasting and prayer, and she started not too long. Somebody else on Facebook approached her. She saw she said, this person is my husband. This person is not rich. He's a pilot, at least he can take care of her.
Yeah, he has a system to earn.
The system to earn.
Yeah.
Are you following? And I told her, you pray concerning this gentleman. Do you know that the young man said he doesn't want to wait? That you are the person I just want. And lo and behold, within 2 months, on Monday, Tuesday, they came for introduction. And they met. And are you getting what?
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to draw here is, when you have a situation where the man is constantly spending, this has to do with the compromise. You are compromising real values. So you are not actually seeing the person Are you following me?
Yeah.
Like I told this person, I said, this person only needs your body. So I can spend anything as long as I can continually
get access to. Yes.
So that's the way it is. It is not a good thing, but this is the values we are living with today in our sociocultural environment. Because even the ladies, their values are lost in material things.
That's the problem.
That's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it is.
Okay. Well, I would say preach, but then the angle in which you brought the discussion in right now was actually the next phase I was going to head to, which is faith.
Okay, faith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's head on to faith. What role does faith have to play in this issue, this societal issue? Because the reality of this is, now the way we see them, let me just say that. Now, so the thing there for Nigeria, but we are a faith-based nation. Everybody has a belief system in this country, and the reality of it is that quite a handful of us, especially in the South, are Christians. So, if we were to say faith is a strong part of our core in this part of the country, what role does it play to desensitize or encourage this? Because faith, like I have read and I have seen, says God is the source. So you lean on him as man to get your daily bread. You're not the bread provider. You know the owner of the bakery.
Exactly.
So you talk to the owner of the bakery and he gives you your daily bread. So what is faith doing about this? Is it desensitizing it? That is actually the truth about faith. But how are we practicing it? That's the question now. Is it promoting the same toxicity in men? Or is it saying, no, you are allowed to be vulnerable? And so, Divine, I'm going to go with you because you're the minister that I know. So let us begin with your ministry.
We're all ministers, even doctor is. We're all ministers. Okay, well, I will start by saying, in the generic form, it could not, in its entirety, be the faith in quotes.
Okay.
That could be the problem here. It could be the mentality of someone. What's your belief system? That's what I can say. So, because it's what you believe that you put into practice here.
True.
Yes. So, like, I would take, for instance, myself. Trust me, I can be as vulnerable as I am to my father.
I know.
Especially when I have hit the wall and I don't have anywhere else to go. I just become that soft person. And I'm courageous enough to say, Baba God, he don't choke me. And it has a way of bringing about the answers that I desire, because what is this thing, faith? It's beyond just the religion. It's now like a relationship.
Okay.
How are you able to just lose yourself in the arms of your father and say, Omo, I don't tire, you don't choke me, like I said.
Help me.
So now that is me, because that's what I believe in. Do you understand? That's my belief system, and it works for me. It might not work for the other person, but for me,
I'm winking. It won't work.
it works for me. No, do you know? No. Do you know why? I have a friend who tells you and say, because he has everything.
Yeah.
Now that's his own person, because he has everything. Whenever he feels choke, what's the need of why do I pray? Now that's him. That's why I said it's a belief system thing. What do you think? How do you see it? He will tell me maybe the only thing he just prays is, God, thank you for this. But when it comes to being pushed to the wall, he feels his money
We'll make
his-
up for it.
That's the problem.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a distortion on his own side. So that's why I say it's your belief system. But that's that's what he feels works for him. But for me, I am so vulnerable to my father, and it works for me.
Okay.
So in its entirety, faith in it, yes, faith has a way of playing, but it's only expressed in how you think and how you accept it. So that's what I would say.
Okay. I'll flip it in the second.
Yes.
Let
Let's our doctor talk.
me hear from you.
Oh my God. Faith based. This is one area that we cannot, the expose will do on that with respect to this. We just have to take it on the surface. And to that extent, I will say faith, as far as it relates to a man's vulnerability and sense of brotherhood, is one value that if only we can cultivate, it will help us a lot in this materialistic world. Why do I say so? In church, you are persuaded by the word of God that, for example, you should be generous. Don't be selective in your generosity. So it's not a matter of a girl or a man.
Oh, man.
Just man as a generic, term. Okay? But this is the basis of the scripture. But the point is, how are we living the scripture? Because even in the church, you have different doctrines. And some doctrines tells you that, look, you cannot be ever poor. So you must do everything. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Now, I am tending towards the materialistic
Side of it. Yes.
now. So you must do everything. Look, as a matter of fact, how do you expect the average man to carry himself when in the book there's nothing wrong in wearing good shoes, good clothes, nothing wrong with it. But when it is ostentatious, unnecessarily so, it becomes a problem.
And it becomes all that matters.
Yes, it becomes, because as a matter of fact, those that are listening to the word, they are more or less, what you are putting on alone becomes noise. They are not even listening to what you're saying. They are looking at what you're putting on and all of that. And that has a way, coupled with you are saying one thing, you are not living it. Are you getting me? So that has a way. Faith-based relationship is good. But like Divine said, it depends on the lived reality of those that accept faith. So the way I accept my faith might be such that I take the values that faith, because faith could be in anything.
Yes, sir.
Even those in the other side, they have, Muslims have their faith.
Yes, sir.
Christians have their faith.
Yes, sir.
They have their doctrine. So
sir.
it boils down to the values. What are the values that you bring to the table by reason of your faith? Is it, look, it's all about money. Money talks. Money is the end. So it doesn't matter the means to an end, to this end. It doesn't matter. As long as money is there and I can flunk it, I can buy anything I want. Women, that's all there is to it. So that's what matters. So you find that in this respect, you find that faith no longer does the work it's supposed to do by reason of its fundamental values.
Yes, sir.
From the Christian perspective,
Yes, sir.
that is okay.
Yes, sir.
Because the reason why I asked the question about faith generically is because I explained what faith is in its basic form, pertaining to what we're talking about, that it is not the burden of a man to bear the responsibility of providence. Now, if you are in the Christian faith, you will find that originally when man was made, the plan was never for him to provide. Man was made and put in a perfect atmosphere where everything
Was made available.
Every animal was made. Man was made a steward. Watch over them. Govern them. Reign over them. It was never an issue of man should provide. However, we had a small fraction with a snake and an apple.
No, Francesca, I think you are missing a part of it.
And somehow we got to where we were. But then God still reinstated us through our father in faith, Abraham. And if this is the reality, like you said, the fundamental basis of faith, if this is the reality of the faith we process or we proclaim, rather, as Christians, then why do we still see this much toxicity in our society? There are Christian doctrines that would say you must come to church looking good. There is a certain type of, in fact, in some churches, there are people who are acclaimed seats of honor because of, the portfolio or their bank account. I'm not against honoring people in the house of God, but I think it should not be about what your pockets, how heavy it weighs. Everyone in the house of God should be honored because before the Father we are equal. There is no man who was made with gold and some were made with dust. It's the same material for each and every one of us. We came in through the same means. We check out through the same means. Nobody is going to leave here on the chariot of fire unless Abba says so. But what I was trying for us to really talk about was the fact that if the fundamental of faith says man is not the provider or the sustainer, it's God, then why is the practice of faith seemingly different and why does it vary? Because we are largely Christians, I would say, in the southern part of Nigeria, and this by now should have, in a way, for a couple of years, let's say, to an extent, let's say 50 years, I wouldn't want to go far back as to a century, but for about 50 years before now, till now, faith has actually played quite a strong role in forming persons, personas, and mindsets. My parents are well over their 70s. My late father was in his 80s when he passed. And my mom is well over her 70s. And the truth of the matter is, if this is their belief system till now, faith by now ought to have corrected this whole alpha male, man is, man will be, man must be, the burden bearer, the one who doesn't break, the one who doesn't cry. But the reality is that what it is? Is that what we are seeing? I need a one-word answer. Let us be honest in the truth circle. Is that what we see in our society today?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm glad it is unanimous. Now, okay. That we have been talking. We have seen this from the cultural, the social, and faith. Now, what would you want a fellow man like you to know? Because it's still June, it's still Men's Mental Health Month. What are the words you would say to a fellow man like you who is possibly or probably down in the luck right now, because we are wrapping up? So, wrap up words.
Okay, what would I tell a man like myself now? What I will tell you is, one, it's okay to express your emotions.
Okay.
It doesn't make you weak. Actually, there is strength in that. And you don't need to go, or it doesn't need to be a matter of do or die for you to spend money for the opposite sex. Do it in a moderate manner. Do it. Everything borders on moderation. Everything. So you are a man and you are doing what you have to do in moderate levels. It doesn't make you less man than the other person that decides that he has to do everything and be totally, uncowed in everything he has to do. No, that doesn't make you a man. And again, most importantly, real men have faith in God.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes,
over to you, Divine. What would you want a young man like you to know? What do you want to have heart to heart?
No do pass yourself.
Okay.
That's number one. No do pass yourself. Oh. Speak up and not shut up. And lastly, don't die.
I hear you. Lastly, don't die. Don't pass yourself. Well, people, in a world that, presses over men and all of that, it continues to tell you to be strong, be firm, do not break down. Let's be the kind of people, please be the kind of brothers, my dear men, who don't wait for applause to do what is right. Be the kind of brothers who do not wait to be celebrated in street halls to do what is right. If you see someone in need, true brotherhood says that you should help them. Correct? True brotherhood says you should show up for a brother. And I'm not just talking about gender now, but show up for anyone who is in need and you are in a place to fulfill that need. Waiting man do man do? Have you asked yourself that question? Stay curious, stay truthful. This is Truth Circles, and Franny will see you in the next episode. Ciao.
Truth circle, not truth with the talk, Truth circle, no lies for this block,